Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Hisuian Samurott in the Open Great League. Yes, you're going to be able to get this if you trade with someone. I had luckily my girlfriend there as well, who was joining some raids from New Zealand as well. So I was able to get some trades in. And we're going to take a look here at the Samurott in the Open Great League, which is going to be very cool for us. So yeah, again, if you want to get one yourself, you kind of have to trade for them as well. It's around like a 40% chance or something to get this one below 1500 CP, so it's not really that difficult. I think it took us like 5 raids. We did like a few raids already. Nobody got a shiny though, so hopefully this shiny is available for people outside that region. But I'm going to take a look at this Pokemon today now. You're going to have a team where we're going to have, of course, both the Greninja as well as the Hisuian Samurott, as they're going to have the exact same typing. And then I kind of try to trick some, especially grass-type Pokemon like the Superior, and swapping into me, because we actually have great coverage against grass-type Pokemon. We have Icy Wind, and we're going to have also the Dark Pulse, which is going to be a stat move, but Icy Wind plus the Fury Kiter is going to be both super effective against grass-type Pokemon, and so it's going to be very nice. Let's take a look here at this matchup. We're going to have the opponent's Clodsire against us. They're going to go for the Mud Bomb, they're going to get us low, they're going to swap back into the Talonflame, and I can go for one fast move. We have here 2 sets of gameplay worth in this video, but it's actually not that much because 2 battles ended very short. So like, yeah, we're gonna see it anyway in this video as well. It's currently 3 AM in the morning for me, so if you enjoy this type of content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Would appreciate it as you're going to be able to win this game with a BM Sludge Bomb there. Well, let's move on to the second game. Let's see what we're going to encounter here. We're going to encounter Clodsire against the Poliwrath. This team going to have some issues against Pokemon like Poliwrath actually, but we're at least going to have the neutral Sludge Bomb plus neutral fast move of Poison Sting with our lead. So at least we're going to have it here. Of course, our back 9 going to be a little bit weak against Lanturn as well, which is going to be even more common now. And I basically encountered, I think, Lanturn in every second game, which was absolutely wild. Like, this Pokemon is everywhere right now, and for good reason, to be fair. Like, it's so strong in the current meta. We're going to be able to catch a move here onto our Samurott, which is going to be a resisted Icy Wind. And as they decide to swap out into the Zapdos, I don't know if I would have had a CMP tie there, but I should have tried to go straight for the Icy Wind there, but the opponent is going to be able to go for a charge move first. I'm forced to go into my Clodsire, and Clodsire is going to go for one charge move on its own. They're going to definitely still survive this one, which is kind of awkward, so I'm forced to let this move go through as well, because I don't want to get hit by either a Scald or an Icy Wind. And so I'm going to be able to go for the full farm down, luckily, and get a ton of energy, and they decide to go back into the Poliwrath, allowing me to go for another Sludge Bomb. This Sludge Bomb is coming through, gonna get the shield, and I can still reach another Sludge Bomb in time, giving me a shield advantage, and so I can now blindly swap into my Greninja, as they're going to have an Amoonguss in the back. This could have been most likely the best grass type now that I could have encountered in the back. Maybe, okay, Trevenant would have been a little bit easier for me as well. But luckily, they don't have a fast move that's going to do super effective damage. They have a fast move that does resisted damage. So this is going to be amazing for us as the opponent decides to forfeit this game. Next opponent, horrible lead for us, but we can swap out into the Samurott, as they're going to have the Skarmory here. They're staying in, and they're going to go for one charge move, as they can just get a shield basically with the Brave Bird. This is why Skarmory lead is so strong in the current meta, as they're going to decide to swap out into their Dugong here. Sadly, the Samurott does not have its Community Day move Hydro Cannon anymore. It actually had it in the code for a long time, but currently it does not learn this move. I feel like they might add this towards the end of the season, because basically the Sidjai gonna get a Community Day as well this season coming up, or like in the January basically, where we're gonna get the Frenzy Plant as well for the normal one, and so I could imagine that they would add the move maybe for even the next season or something towards those Pokemon. Might change up a little bit the matchups as well. Like, it is looking definitely like an interesting Pokemon with Icy Wind for the Great League, so definitely try to get one through trading, especially if you're going to go outside, encounter some people that you don't know. Just ask them for some trades, for low friendship trades, because they're always going to be better for PvP IVs. Here I'm definitely happy with my one already, because I just want to get one for making a video. I actually want to make a video for this Pokemon in the Ultra League, but I only really realized when I was raiding some that they actually were so close to the Great League CP already, that I was able to just trade them and was able to get a decent one here. Sadly, we're going to lose this matchup, but we can move on to the next one. And that's going to be the shortest video here, or like the shortest matchup for me, as the opponent decided to just forfeit immediately, so we can just go straight into the next game, as we're going to see the opponent having a Broguiere here. Broguiere is actually okay for me, as the opponent decided to swap out into the Lanturn. Lanturn was everywhere for me, which of course for this team is not really ideal. My lead is going to be weak against the water type damage, and my backline is going to be weak against the electric type damage, making Lanturn a pretty awkward Pokemon to deal with. I would not really say it's a core breaker, because usually Clodsire does a fairly decent job against this Pokemon, so I feel like it's going to be a kinda okayish matchup for us, as you can still go for another Earthquake here against the opponent, getting both shields already, getting a 2-shield advantage, which does not really last for that long. I'm going to be able to just use a shield now against the opponent. I can try to go for a charge move, but they swap out into the Broguiere, and they're sadly going to outspeed me. Usually you would be able to outspeed the Broguiere if you're going to start at the equal amount of energy, because you get there, I think, like 2 fast moves earlier. But here we're going to just basically get to the Ice Wind before they can knock me out, because I didn't want to give the opponent's Lanturn too much farm, and so I can swap out into my Clodsire, go for the Earthquake. This Earthquake is going to get a ton of damage onto them, does not get the knockout, but we can try to go for the full farm down, which does not work out. But can Greninja win this game for us? We will find out shortly. We can definitely win against a Jellicent here. Having a matchup where we're going to be able to resist every single move of the opponent is just so nice, if we have especially the super effective Night Sash to just 2-shot the opponent's Jellicent here as well. I can go for 2 more extra fast moves, so I get closer to another Night Sash if I need it against the opponent's Lanturn. As you can see, we don't really need it. Oh, actually, we're still gonna get there, which is kind of funny, but yeah, it does not really matter, because he would have won anyway, and we can move on to the next game. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We actually had one game in there, which I was super proud of. Hopefully we're gonna take a look at this soon as well, where I literally played so 5-head, which was really, really nice. So definitely stay tuned for this, especially for like 3 AM gameplay. I'm totally happy about this one. We're going to see here the Surf coming through from the Lanturn. I'm not sure if this is going to be the match though. We're going to get a shield from the opponent, as they're going to stay in for a little bit. They might swap out eventually, and they do swap out now into the Medicham. And I don't think that this game was the one that I played really well. I think this was the one that I played pretty poorly. But I can swap out into my Greninja, catch the move. Here's the cool thing about Greninja, at least now, maybe not anymore, but back in the day, the usual moveset for Medicham was resisted in terms of the charge moves on Greninja. But of course, the fast move does a ton of damage. We get the boost here. I should have went for the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon would have been the play, because I would have got the knockout against the opponent's Medicham. But like this, I'm going to be in a tough spot, especially as I can still reach another charge move, making this basically an impossible matchup to still win. So yeah, I kind of screwed this game up on my own again. The opponent is going to go for a charge move here as well with their Lanturn. I was forced to use a shield, which is really awkward. I'm gonna go for the Earthquake. I just have to hope that I'm going to be able to outspeed the opponent to the next Earthquake, which I'm not able to, and so this game is basically over at this point. Again, I'm fairly certain I would have had at least a chance here, depending on what they're going to have in the back, if I just played it better, but I played it basically the worst possible way, which is, I mean, kind of understandable for this kind of time of the day, as we're going to see the opponent gonna go for the Thunderbolt and knock me out. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have another Lanturn in the lead. As said before, Lanturn was literally everywhere. Like, I had so many games against Lanturn. But this is definitely not going to be the game which I'm talking about. As you're going to see the opponent staying in here, the opponent going to swap out now to the Clodsire. This was a huge mistake. Why did I go for the Earthquake here? I have no idea. This was so silly by me. I can still go for a Hydro Cannon here on the CMP type, which is kind of cool. But going for this Earthquake did not make any sense at all. I had to keep the energy for the Lanturn, and I don't know why I didn't do this, and now it's going to be a little bit of a tough one, but at least I'm going to still be able to go for another charge move here, allowing me to get a shield advantage as well as switch advantage, which is going to be amazing. As the opponent goes for their own Lanturn, farms me down, but I can now go hopefully straight for the Earthquake against the opponent's Lanturn here, but we're not even close to be there, but we can now go for one afterwards, which is nice. But I'm forced to use 2 shields now to basically get off another Earthquake, which is really annoying for me, because I kind of don't want to do this. But I kind of have to do this, because Surf would do a little bit too much damage here. So I decided to go for another shield. They're going to be energy dry after this, but let's see what they're going to swap into. They are not swapping out yet, but they are swapping out now into the Talonflame. And this was a great play by the opponent. Again, we overfarmed by quite a bit, which is not really ideal. And so I try to catch a Flame Charge here onto my Pokemon, which works out really well for me, right? It's a Brave Bird. It was not even necessary at all to go for Brave Bird there. Just go for Flame Charge. It would have made so much more sense. And because the opponent make a play that does not really make any sense at all, sadly, I'm going to not be able to win this game. I'm going to lose this game, as this is going to be it for this one. Next opponent. honestly, I get kind of sick of all the lanterns. I feel like this is going to be something that's going to happen for most of the time, and I feel like maybe buff Mudslap a little bit more than they did this season, of course, for the next season line as well, because honestly, like, Lanturn was everywhere, but this is going to be sadly a game where the opponent decides to, I don't know, maybe spin a stop and still kind of get frozen into this. The game is going to end very soon because I'm just going to skip the recording here, but yeah, the opponent is never coming back from this one, so after the Sludge Bomb, we're going to just move on into the next matchup because it's kind of silly to watch this one, but again, we are taking a look at every battle that I had in those two sets, and this was one of them. Let's move on to the next game. We're going to have a great lead here, but again, as said before, we're going to have another Lanturn in the bag. Honestly, I just get so sick of this Pokemon, and this is going to be a core breaker for me. I can get a shield advantage, which is kind of nice. But as you can see, I'm going to swap out into my Samurott, which is going to get at least neutral damage from the fast move here with the Fury Cutter compared to what Greninja does. Plus we have the Dark Pulse, which is going to do some decent not super effective, but stab damage here, which is going to get them low. Still forced to use another shield. I will be guaranteed to realign my Pokemon though, which is kind of nice because I know that I can just go for 2 Icy Winds if I really have to, and that's going to easily knock them out with 1 Icy Wind already. But they're going to let this move go through, which does make sense. And here I maybe should have went for an Ice Wind first, just so the opponent does not get the easy farm down against me, because I might have been able to still reach another move and force a shield, but sadly they're going to have the Poliwrath in the back, and I'm just going to decide to forfeit here. This is just sadly hard counter at this point, and we can move on to the next game. And this is going to be the final game, and this was by far my favorite game. So let's take a look at this one. We're going to face a fairly neutral lead for us, but an awkward one for our backline. Here neutral because we have Earthquake, but they also have Mud Bomb, which is going to do super effective damage against me. They're going to catch the move here onto their Dugong, but it's luckily just a Sludge Bomb, and so I can decide to swap out into my Greninja. Greninja will be able to go for some Night Slashes here as the first Night Slash is coming through. I can even go for another Night Slash afterwards, and let's see if they're going to use a shield or not. For them, it actually does make sense to use a shield here, because it's going to allow them to go for an Icy Wind, and the Icy Wind going to allow them to get to another charge move afterwards still, because I can now survive another Night Slash here from me, because I didn't get the boost, which of course is a little bit risky for them to shield a potential boost move, but it's going to work out for them pretty well here, as I'm going to be forced to use a shield onto the Drill Run, and we can go for the full farm down against the opponent, as we can see what they're gonna go into, most likely the what's called the opponent's Toxicroak here. Toxicroak is coming back in. I can go for the Hydro Cannon, maybe get the shield. I do get the shield, which is amazing. And so it's going to be again our Clodsire, which I have to use a shield on as well, because we have to get the knockout there. They're going to have a Lanturn in the back, and again it's going to be the Lanturn, which is so annoying for me. But you're going to see here me making a great play. I decided to go for the Icy Wind, which is not really that special. But as you're going to see now, I am not going to tap anymore. I just let the opponent go for a charge move because I need more energy on my Clodsire. This is my only way of winning. You saw me not going for any tapping there as well, but I can still now reach the Earthquake just in time to knock out the final Pokemon from the opponent. This is going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Check out the video on the screen, and I see you then. Bye bye.